Sea levels will change throughout the day as tides change. So tides change throughout the day as the moon and the sun move around the Earth as it rotates. The gravitational force causes everything on Earth to be pulled towards them, including the sea. And this is what causes low and high tides. Water will store large amounts of gravitational potential energy as tides change the level of the water. So water carries a lot of gravitational potential energy at high tide after work's been done on it by gravity from the sun and the moon. Remember that GPE stands for gravitational potential energy. So is there a way that we can use this gravitational potential energy? Let's have a look. Tidal energy transforms the stored gravitational potential energy of water when the tides change. So this is a very large amount of energy as so much water moves at once. Tidal barrages can generate electricity by causing a height difference between water levels. So a tidal barrage is a dam-like structure. It's used to generate electricity when masses of water move in and out of a body of water due to tidal forces. Unlike a dam, this type of structure won't form a new lake. Tidal barrages are best built between the mouth of a river and the ocean. So how does a tidal barrage generate electricity? When the tide comes in, the water passes through a turbine and gates will hold the water behind the barrage. So this is a diagram of a tidal barrage. At high tide, the water outside the barrage contains a high store of gravitational potential energy. The water then enters the barrage and the water can rise on the other side. Sluice gates are used to control when the water can pass through. So the gravitational potential energy store is now on the other side of the barrage. When the tide goes out, the water behind the barrage is directed through the turbines again as it is released. So at low tide, the water behind the barrage now has more gravitational potential energy than the seawater. Water is released through the turbine, and the gravitational potential energy of the water becomes kinetic energy in the turbine, which generates electricity. You aren't expected to know the details of how the barrage works for your exam, but you should know the basic concepts and the energy changes that take place. So how useful is tidal energy as a resource? Despite only being active for short periods of time, tidal barrages have the potential to generate huge amounts of electricity. So coastal areas experience 2 high tides and 2 low tides every day, and barrages only work when the tides change. But the energy gain is huge, and it actually has the potential to generate 20% of Britain's electricity. However, tidal barrages are difficult and expensive to build. Construction requires multiple expensive towers to be built, involving underwater construction on the seabed. There are not many appropriate locations available, as they work best in narrow channels and the options are limited. The water has to be a certain depth, and it needs to be as close as possible to where the electricity is required to avoid excessively long electricity lines. So what are the overall advantages and disadvantages of tidal energy? Well, the advantages are that it's clean and renewable, so tides always change and there are no emissions. It also produces huge amounts of energy. However, the disadvantages are that it can have a big impact on wildlife. The barrages affect the flow of water, so they can change the migration and can change habitats of fish and other animals. There are also few suitable locations, as they work best in channels that are narrow and require an appropriate water depth. You aren't expected to know about tidal energy in as much detail as other renewable resources for your exam, but you should still be aware of the basic concepts behind it and some advantages and disadvantages.
Thanks for watching. If you want to take your GCSE revision to the next level, head over to launchpadlearning.com and check out our smart learning platform that's been designed to get you top results in your exams. We cover your whole specification and make revision fun with interactive quizzes, easy to follow videos and more. You'll be kept motivated by your own AI tutor who's here to support you every step of the way. To check it out for yourself, click here. Or click here to keep watching a selection of the videos from our full GCSE Physics course. See you there!